Okay, in this video, we are going to look at how to compute the integral of z dv, so this is a triple integral, over the following solid. So the first thing that I wanted to point out is when you see an equation like y squared plus z squared equals 25, this looks like a circle, right? But because we have x, y, and z, this is not a circle, this is actually a cylinder. What that means is that if you take y squared plus z squared equals 25, you take that circle, so you imagine that this is your circle with radius 5, and then you just move it along the x-axis, because x is not bounded, right? Axis could be anything. The cylinder will just be the whole circle moved along the x-axis. However, here we do have some bounds, so it's not going to be the whole circle. That's why I didn't draw the bottom of it, because it's bounded also below by z equals 0, which is the xy plane. So it's only going to be half of a circle. And also over here, it's on the side, it's going to be bounded by x equals 5, which is just a plane that's parallel to the yz plane at 5. Okay, so how do I set up the limits over something like this? All right, so the first thing I need to do, so this is a triple integral, I need to figure out what is my bottom surface and what is my top surface. So the bottom surface is this rectangle right here, right? That's the bottom surface. And because it lies in the xy plane, its equation is z equals 0. So this is going to be 0 right here. The top surface is obviously that half circle. Well, it's not circle, it's a cylinder. Y squared plus z squared equals 25. But we have to solve this for z. So how would we do that? Because we want to express the surface as z equals something of f, f of xy. So if I say that z squared equals 25 minus y squared, then the square root property would give me plus minus that square root of 25 minus y squared. But because it's above the xy plane, it's only going to be the positive part. So that will go into the top limit. That's your top surface. And because this is looks like we're integrating z, so this is going to be z dz dy dx. Now, what about these other limits? So that's the projection of the surface onto the xy plane. And you can see that this is a rectangle, right? The yellow rectangle. So on this is -5 is on y, from -5 to 5, and on x is from 0 to 5. So here it's be 0 to 5, and for y will be -5 to +5. Okay, so let's see if we can do that. And this is 0 to that square root, and we are integrating z. Again, why we're integrating z? Because it says that right here, z. So this is not volume, this is just integrating z. Oops, I'm missing a number. Okay, now let's go ahead and compute the inside integral. So we go 0 to 5, -5 to 5. So integral with respect to z of z is 1/2 z squared, right? And we substitute z equals 0, z equals square root of 25 minus y squared. And then we still have dy dx here. Okay, so what do we get? Let's substitute the top limit first, which is going to give you 25 minus y squared, right? Because when you square square root goes away. So this is just going to be 1/2 25 minus y squared. And when you substitute 0, that's just 0. Okay, so let's see. So this part right here, this is just going to be, looks like it wants us to simplify. Well, we did what we could, right? That's that. Okay. Now let's see if we can integrate it. So actually 1/2 you're going to have to distribute to integrate. So this will become 25 over 2. Now integrating 25 over 2 is the same as integrating a number, which is multiplied by the variable with respect to which you're integrating, minus 1/2. Now integrating y squared, so remember we add 1 to the power, becomes 3, and 1/3 will be in the front. Okay, actually that's already the y integral, so I don't have this anymore. I'm just gonna have the limits y equals -5, y equals 5, and then dx is still outside. Okay, so let's go ahead and compute this. So first we substitute 5, which we're going to get 25 over 2 times 5 minus 1 over 6 times 5 cubed, which is 125. Okay, minus, now let's substitute negative 5 and be very careful with those negatives. So we substitute in negative 5, that'll actually be minus right here. And then the negative 5 cubed is negative 125. So this is actually going to become positive, right? Because the negative and the negative will give you a positive. So this is going to be 125 over 6. Ooh, this is not fun. Okay, so let's see if we can simplify, because remember, we cannot move on until we completely simplify. So 25 times 5 is 125 over 2 minus 125 over 6. And then this negative will get distributed, right, to each term. So that's going to be 125 over 2 plus, and then minus 125 over 6. So can you simplify that? The answer is yes. And it doesn't look like there's any y left or x left for that matter. So this is just going to be a number. So let's actually compute what that number is. I don't think it's going to cancel. There's going to be some kind of fraction there. So this is going to be 250 over 3. Integrate that from 0 to 5. Okay, so let's see if that is correct. All right, now integrating a number just means multiplying it by the variable with respect to which you're integrating. So that's just going to be x, and then we plug in 5. So 25 multiplied by 5, well, 250 times 5 is 1250 divided by 3.